stream. I decided to make another live stream yesterday, uh, but I tried to I tried to make a live stream yesterday, but I decided not to. Um, but this shit is gonna be a summary of my post, the stuff that I've been posting. The stuff I've been talking about, the things I've been going over on YouTube as far as my post. Um, if it'll load up. I ain't got too much to go live about. I continue to say the same thing, but I continue. I see the community the gang stalking community. I see us like growing. You know what I'm saying? I see people taking up to what I say, the things that I say. I see people understanding it, having a different level of energy. That's what's really most important to me. A different level of energy. I see a different level of energy within, the gang stalking, um, channels and stuff like that. I see a different level of energy. I see a more calm level of energy, and I love it. That's the reason I post. You know, I see a calm level of energy because I used to have an extreme level of energy, bad energy, thinking the way that I used to think as far as how other targets used to think. Being a target that's been targeted for around almost going to be 10 years now. Being a target that's been targeted since around 2018, I see a different level of energy. Like I see a different level of energy. People are more calm, more understanding of what's going on, more realizing that you don't fight, you know, basically, pet people. That's what I would call them. You know, um, I see a different level of energy. People not reacting the way they should, the way they shouldn't react. Different levels of energy. Overall, just great. Like it's overall just great. Like I'm noticing a real change. Because it's a different way that you respond to a person. Y'all, people didn't respond to people that's purposely, these perps on the street. They didn't respond. Y'all responded to these people. Well, people used to respond to them as if they weren't trying to purposely get them in trouble or set them up for a mental trap later in the future. You know, to get them in. A perp can say something to you on the street, and it gets you in trouble down the line, just from your attitude changing from what you heard, it gets you in trouble down the line later. But I see that's a different topic, but I see a different level of energy. Like it's better. Y'all are understanding. People are understanding. Hey, these people are working for third party companies. These people are working for three-letter agencies. Why would I respond to a person that's working to a three-letter agency? You should be looking at them people as undercovers. Honestly, as under like as people that's that's just work. Would you do you fit check a cop? Like you compare you would you compare your fit? Would you compare your outfit? Would you compare your clothes with a cop? Especially in their uniform, but even out, but just outside the uniform. But would you compare your outfit with the cops? I wouldn't compare my outfit with a cop's outfit outside the uniform. I don't care how they dress. That's a cop. So it's like I see people understanding that. Some people don't come from certain background, like listening to rap music and stuff like that, and street culture. Some people don't come from background. Where I come from, everybody listen to rap music. It's not ghetto, but everybody listens to rap music. A person working with the police, even though most of them do it, they probably don't. But a person working with, they probably don't know. But a person working with the police is, that's someone that they can't do anything, no matter what they do. They can't do anything. You can't put on $1,000 pair of shoes, and it's, you know what I'm saying, and that's how that is. You can't be with them type of people. You can't be around them type of people. You can't do that. So taking insults, receiving indirected conversations from people you don't know, responding in those ways better, because you, instead of you thinking that they're in some type of court, you understand that they're working for law enforcement. That's your insult without an insult. Your smile is an insult at that point. Like you just not even responding to them. Your smile is an insult at that point. They're working for law enforcement. These perps that approach you in these indirected conversations, you may go in stores, you may walk in the streets, and these people do this stuff, and that's what they do. Indirected conversations, directed conversations. Understanding that these people are working for law enforcement, they're working for third-party companies. Um, Even if there's not a direct line. Most people don't. Most people wouldn't want to work for law enforcement if they knew it. That's why I said they have a thing called third-party companies. These informers, they sign these non-disclosure agreements and things like that. You know, all that type of stuff. FISA 702, all of that. But as I roll my medication, um, I'll get into a summary of my post because I won't be going live much. I'm saying the same thing. I'm seeing the Gangstalking group, like, people that's being targeted. I'm seeing people kind of, it's a different level of energy when it comes to walking outside. That's what I want to see. I want to see, oh, this car driving past me just working for somebody. They ain't really the problem. It's the person that's really sending them. They ain't really watching you like that. They ain't really thinking on you like that. Once they see you, they done. They get their payment. It's compensation. That's what I want to see. I like to see that. This person with this one headlight, they just got a one headlight. I'm not finna approach them. I'm gonna use that plausible deniability right there. People. That's what happened to people. They better get it before they get a ticket. They better get the other headlight before they get a ticket. That's what happened to people. Just using your own plausible deniability is important. But once you get on here complaining and using your own plausible deniability at every moment, and stuff is still going on. That's what targeting is. That's why you post. That's the stuff that you post. Using your own plausible deniability, stuff still going on. Okay, that's crazy. That there's no possible way that should be happening. There's no way that person should have said that at that time. Using your own plausible deniability involves you being in a workplace. It is an example. I can make an example of you being in a workplace, and you targeted by a number or something like that. Most people targeted by numbers, words, and you could in some targets not using your own plausible deniability is calling out a indirected conversation that somebody using a number inside of a workplace, inside of a retail workplace. That's not using your own plausible deniability. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I used to think. Oh, they doing that on purpose. But that number has to be said. It's a retail. I'm not finna complain about numbers because it's the retail. I'm not finna complain about seeing red or blue when I'm outside because I see red or blue when I'm in my house. I'm definitely not finna walk up on somebody because they got a one headlight, which I've seen. I wouldn't say recently, but I've seen it. People walking up on people because they have a one headlight and questioning about it. You see what this program is getting you to do? And what I was mentioning in my post before I finished rolling my medication, they're trying this program. It's called organized stalking, gang stalking. To us, in layman terms, that's what it's called. This program is trying to chase you into a busy road. This is why you have to get into. This is why you have to get out of fear and connect to God, because this is what they're doing. They're trying to chase you into a busy road. You feel what I'm saying? Psychological warfare. That's a crazy even word to say. That's contradicting. If I'm using the correct term of contradicting, it's a contradicting word to say. It's a contradicting example to make. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, it happens in a movie. You know, in the movies, this is what they're trying to do. You have. This is why you have to understand your audience. You have to understand who is surveilling you and things like that. You know, only the people with that type of technology, right? Because it happens in the movies. You know how somebody's chasing somebody in the movies. This is why you don't do that. Don't. This is why you don't do that. You know how somebody's chasing somebody in the movies, and they chasing somebody in the street, and all of a sudden there's like a bus, and it just hits them. Yeah, you can do that with everything you can do to the everything you can do to the physical, you can do it to the mental. Most things you can do to the physical, you can do to the mental. Most things. I used to, you know, watch it. I used to watch adult videos with my mind, you know, and then, you know, it got to the physical. Like I started watching it on my phone, you know, like I used to think of it in my mind though at first. So yeah, like you just gotta understand that type of stuff. That type of stuff you gotta understand. But yeah, um, that type of stuff you just have to understand. I'm gonna get into my post in a little bit, but I'm gonna keep going about the example I made. What they're trying to chase you into a busy road, and like how it happens in the movies, but literally in the movies is literally. I don't want to. I'm like I don't want to sound like you know, like, oh, you're not talking about gang stalking, you know. So I make the best examples when it comes to this. You know, I try to make the best examples to keep, um, you know, a fellow target, you know, intrigued. I try to make a good example. But yeah, it happens in the movies. It happens in the movies. Like they chasing you into a busy road, and coincidentally, a bus. In the movie, like how they chase people into a busy road, and coincidentally, wow, a bus. You know what I'm saying? They chase people into the road, and then eventually, some type of car, some big truck, chase you into the road, and eventually some big truck. You know, it happens in the movie. You know what I'm talking. Everybody, that's a classic scene in a movie. It's somebody being chased into the road, and oh, coincidentally, some big truck. That's what they're trying to psychologically do to you. And if you don't, um, you have been psychologically abused. Don't take that away. But you can um, get over it. But there is a get over it. But you know, your whole time you've been targeted. There's been attempted unaliving of your life. The whole time you've been targeted until you get over it. Because citizens are used in place of officials. They make the officials make the citizens think that the officials make the targets think that the citizens are doing the official's job. So in that time period of your targeting is attempted unaliving of you. And if you don't understand, it's going on right now. If you don't believe me, you're still in attempted unaliving. If you don't believe me, believe people that have that type of technology is sacred.
Surveillance?
Sacred. They have a whole business for it. So you must understand that a citizen is not watching you in your house. Surveillance is sacred. That's home. They have a whole business for it. What is it called? Homeland. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but they have a whole business for it. So surveillance is sacred. They have a whole business for it. But these companies don't care. They'll use the citizens to make you think that the citizens are doing the surveillance, which can cause an unaliving any day if you don't understand who's surveilling you. Trying to be that's if you're trying to be cool, if you care what someone thinks about you, they can control your steps, they can control how you think, they can control your audience. Oh, I'm walking down the street. I feel weird though. I'm shortness of breath because I feel the house that I'm walking past looking right at me. You know what I'm saying? Or they looking at me trying to, you know, I think a citizen can read my mind um and it's not a three-letter agency instead. You know, like the movie told you. But yeah, back to what I was saying. But yeah, these are just things that you have to understand. You know, these are just things you have to understand. I'm gonna get into my post. I'm currently rolling my medication and bottling it up. You know, I mean, but yeah. Yeah, it's just you have to understand these things, bro. Like, and you have to understand these things, and it's a blessing. That the thing is, you need to understand it's a blessing. I don't mean to talk about speak on the Most High, because I don't. I actually, when people try to speak on the Scripture to me, that's sacred. God said it's sacred. When people try to speak on the Scripture to me, I turn off their video because it's sacred. Prayer is sacred. You don't pray in front of people. It's sacred. So some 9 out of 10, somebody probably be a perp if they just do that all the time. Like, but it does. Um, Gang stalking is in the Bible as a story. They've been doing this stuff as it's scientific method. Like, if that's a real story, they've been doing this stuff. Like, they've been doing this stuff. I mean, of course, it's a real story. I think it is since they're doing it now. I believe in that it's a real story. It makes sense. It's like putting 50 people in any experiment. 9 out of 10, you're gonna get the same result. You know what I'm saying? In any experiment, you put 50 people in damn near any experiment, you're probably gonna get the same result. The same result is going to come out 75%, 75% more than a different result. So it's just like putting people in an experiment. You have to understand that type of stuff. You have to look at the scientific method of things to understand why they're doing it, and then debunk why it's impossible. You have to understand these people put so many amount of people around you. Um, as far as like your jobs and things of that nature. That's why I say when you doing a job, do it and keep doing it. And when you making money, don't spend it. What's the point of spending it? You know what I'm saying? Making and spending is two different things. This is game that I know is not going to the outside. It's going to y'all. It's making money and spending it. You're not really making money because you're spending it. Now, if you have to spend it on rent, that's a different situation. But like I said, if you're targeting individual, man, you need to attack. It's not attacking the system. What I do, I'm not attacking the system at all. I'm trying to live the best life I can live. But I've heard it from people. Um, I got a job. and the manager, the the manager was like, when I was leaving, she was like, you doing something to the system, like you trying to. I guess I think she said buck the system or something like that. She said buck the system or something like that. Like, because how as far as how I stay in the shelter, like, on purpose. I get disability and stay in the shelter. I'm paying zero rent. $2,000 a month. Hey, my right arm is paralyzed, bro. I get $2,000 a month. I get $2,000 a month, and I can work a job. Like fast food and stuff. I can't lift much, stuff like that. Certain jobs I can work a job. I'm allowed to. I do that and stay at a shelter because I'm being targeted, obviously, by the system, right? An evil organization of the system. Shadow government. What will be the shadow government? Well, it exists. There's people that had drugs planted on them. That's the shadow government. Why is that ignored? That's weird. Like, you're not. That's not right. You're organized. Once that happened, once your organization is, that's what it is. Did it only happen once? People planted drugs on people? Did it only happen once? No. So you know who you're dealing with. Psychological torture is not. This is. I'm not a perp. Before I say this, psychological torture is not illegal. You think they ain't doing that? It's not illegal. Psychological torture is not illegal. What is illegal is tracking. Some form of slander, probably financial sabotage. If it's probably not written, as the Bible says, it's probably not already written. What the scriptures say. Um, yeah, if it's probably not written in the scripture, as they say, the scripture says, they frame of mischief by the law. That means they write it as the law, but that is extremely wrong. Like getting pulled over for some weed or something. You know, that's a bad example, but a good example. You know, but yeah. Oh, good example. You know, yeah, I say like a 9 out of 10 good example. Weed is illegal in most states. That's framing mischief by the law. That's a layman example. You feel what I'm saying? That's a layman example. But yeah, that's deep. But but yeah, like you just gotta understand this type of stuff. Like this is the type of stuff you have to understand, and that's just what that is. I'm gonna go to my post in a minute. Like I said, I sit here and be um, rolling up a medication, about to bottle it, and um, just sitting here talking. I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, like that's just what that is. You have to understand that type of stuff. And if you don't understand it, that's gonna be on you. If you don't take the time and understand and be like, yo, this person ain't doing this. This person is doing this. Then that's just all I'm saying. How many people have came with that perspective? This person ain't doing. I'm not saying Gangstalking ain't real, but hey, this civilian ain't that savvy. Okay, ain't savvy. That civilian ain't that savvy as you think. Okay, you know, probably somebody you don't see, but that civilian is not as savvy as you think. that civilian is not as savvy as you think. And the play is to try is to make you think exactly that. To make you think exactly that the civilian is as savvy as you think. That's exactly what that play is. That play can lead you to questioning people on the street. Excuse me, hold on. I'm not talking about anyone in specific. My bad. Questioning people on the street about one headlights, colors of a car that cost $5,000 when that's not anyone's check. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain stuff you should ignore. That's what I'm saying. And everyone on here is actually, yeah, you're actually being targeted, but you're being hit with you're calling out the things that could be plausible deniability. That's what you're calling out. You let you letting things hurt you that can be plausible deniability. Hey, that person just moved their finger like that. You know how many other people seen that person do that? You know that person ain't even thinking on you when they go home. Most likely not. You know, but it is a person. That person that sent them to do that most likely is sent somewhere on some computer somewhere. You know, remotely doing that stuff, sending them people to do that type of stuff. That's why I got so calm with it. But I had to get everybody in this group, of being targeted and stuff like that. I had to get everybody right. Like I had to get people understanding their audience, understanding, yeah, you 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 know how they say you never alone when you targeted. You need to turn that around after 5 years. You alone. You want to know why? Only someone connected with law enforcement is watching you in your home. You're alone, so feel comfortable. When you in your car, only someone in three-letter agency, third-party companies, the law enforcement, they only have so they're not getting the movie effects. You feel what I'm saying? The whole time that you thinking that civilians are surveilling you, talking to yourself because of it, going crazy on people because you think your ex watching you through your phone camera, trying to fight dudes and knock them out, look cool, whatever you trying to do because of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, because it's that. It was that for me. That's just it's nature. You know what I'm saying? It's just nature. But yeah, like these are things that you have to understand. You know, if you don't, um, if you don't understand them, your life will continue to be controlled because of it. You will be doing things because of um, other people. You will be doing things. You would be doing actions because of the thought of other people's eyes on you. All eyes on me. Your actions will change because of this. If you don't understand law's eyes on you. No, law's eyes on you. I think I'm the first person said that. I think I'm the first person that ever said this. Law's eyes on you. Not all eyes on you, bro. All eyes on you gonna lead you to the mental institution, or and I used to think all eyes. Now, I know don't get me wrong. Oh, my neighbor surveilling me. That was me, bro. That was me. But law enforcement control them people. They probably got a third party company that is connected to law enforcement. They don't say anything to the citizens about it. That's probably why they so cool. They think they working for somebody else, but that company probably connected to law enforcement, and not in a way a fast food chain. You know, like that's it. You know, that's just what they do. Um, Psychological torture over time to get people to get people to crash out. That's just what that is. That's what it leads to. It's like it's like that's what it leads to. That's what it leads to. Like it's like blue and yellow making green. You know what I'm saying? That's what it leads to. Scientific method. It's like blue and yellow making green. Let's mess with this person every day. Um, yeah, it's like blue and yellow making green. The color blue and yellow, it make green. That's what it's like. It's like blue and yellow making green. It's a scientific method. There's no argument about it. You know, that's what it is. Scientific method. That's what it is. There's no argument about it. It's it's like blue and yellow make green. You know, if I get a blue crayon, I get a yellow crayon, it's gonna make green. There's no argument about it as far as uh, an official. I'm not telling any targeted individual um, not to argue with me about it. I'm not trying to argue with any targeted individual. Is what I'm saying. But there's no argument about it. Like someone can't tell me this is not going on from any other part of society. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. So yeah, but that's just what that is. I haven't even went through a summary of my post. like but I'm doing pretty good. Like just speaking on y'all regular, like speaking to y'all regular. I'm doing pretty good doing that. But I'll probably be live like twice a week. I'm pretty much saying the same things over and over again. Um, their targets really, understanding what's going on. Um, because thinking everybody worried about you gonna lead you down a path of materialism. You have to know who worrying about you. Who worrying about you, you don't see them. You see they minions. You see their compensated minions. That's what you see. The people that's worried about you, you see their compensated minions. That's what you see. So it's gang stalking is pretty much ignorable. You know, and I used to think like everybody else, bro. So it's ignorable. Like I ignore it. I just act like I just use my own plausible deniability and everything. That's just like a person being at a store. You know, it's like a store being open and a person being in it. You know what I'm saying? You got to go that far, even though like you still have evidence of real harassment. You have to use your own plausible deniability and use your real harassment. I have real harassment on my page. Real harassment. Literally on my shorts. Real. Followed. Like literally. Real. Like from the source. Like from the source. Real. Go look for it. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, like that's just what that is. Like, that's just what that is. You have to understand that type of stuff. And if you don't, like I said, It's gonna be your fault at the end of the day. These people speak a different language. You know what I'm saying? You crashing out over one head, like you gonna get a different language. You gonna get a different language when you have to face if you have to face consequences. You gonna get a different language because you crashed out over a head. Like what? Like that's what is that? Like this is a different language to people, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's a different language to people. It's a different language. Gang stalking is a different language. I am going to do a live about telling people about it. Yeah, you know, and short in a short summary. I don't really suggest it. I suggest getting on here, telling people about it with full identification. You know, if that's a problem for you, or if it's not a problem, you know. But I suggest getting on here and talking about it with full identification. You know, and that's just me spiritually. That's just what God told me to do. That's just me spiritually. I suggest getting on here with full identification. Say who you are when you get on here. Um, but if you get targeted, I don't think you have a reason to hide that you being targeted. Like you noticed you're targeting, that means you're not a bad person. So I mean, I don't know the reason to hiding. You know, I don't know, but shit, I'm not telling people what to do when it comes to that. You ain't got to. But yeah, just understanding these things and having patience because they will play with you. Like if you don't have patience, they know you have a problem with patience. They'll threaten you into future events to cause you future events. You know, threaten you with future events to cause you future events. Like they'll threaten you. You know, say, oh yeah, this gonna happen to you. Next thing you know, you're very aggressive. Oh, you getting the tactics of let's say like oh we gonna do something to you. Next thing you know, you're aggressive to the wrong person, and not even the wrong person. You're aggressive to anybody. Now you're pointing the gun at somebody and have to pay $1,000 to get out of jail. You know, that's the smallest thing. You know what I'm saying? And you got to sit on probation for some years. You know, for the smallest. You know, they just trying to get the smallest reaction to the biggest reaction. You know, that's why you have to have no reaction. You have to understand what's going on. You know, I understand that anyone coming around me with a script, they probably the cops. They just civilians. No matter their age, they're probably law enforcement in some type of way, connected through companies, third party company, whatever you want to call it. You feel what I'm saying? That helps so much. It should help you so much. Even it should definitely help you. Looking at these people as law enforcement when they are literally should uh, help you as far as if you're a targeted individual, looking at these people as law enforcement should help you. It should help you mentally a lot. If you come from a street background, especially, but even if you don't, when I think about it, it's like, bro, no one, there's no disrespect at all. But no one rocks with the legal system, but the legal system. Even if they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like even they don't. Like everybody has to face up to them. So nobody, yeah, that's what it is. Everybody has to like go against them. Everybody has to, whether you get a ticket, whatever, you have to go against those companies. You feel what I'm saying? So whether you get a ticket or what, like so, no one really rocks with them like that. So you gotta understand that type of shit. Because if you don't, like I say, you feel what I'm saying? If you don't, you'll be psychologically messed up, bro. Like, I can't say how many times I've been, on the road and so paranoid of surveillance that, there's a problem. I can't say how many times I've been on the road and so paranoid of surveillance, bro. Like, there's a problem, like, driving, but it's always like a 10-second thing. Then you just jump back into it. Like, you jump back into reality. They take you out of reality and you jump back into reality. You know, so it's not that bad, but it is legitimate. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's not that bad, but it's legitimate. Like it's legitimate as far as like that's just what that is, bro. I don't know what organization would be behind that type of technology in that way of targeting um, for unaliving in that way. If you get what I'm saying, like a street, what a driving way. You have a plan, not a gun. You're trying to psychologically kill me. Yo, that's not a group, bro. That's not somebody that's not law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like yeah, that's just what that is. Um, but yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna go through my summary. Like I pretty much said what I needed to say in this live. I guess I could say the summary for another time or something like that. But yeah. Hold on. But yeah, like these are things that you just have to understand. I know I say it every live stream, but yeah, these are things you have to understand. I know I say it every live stream, but you have to understand these things. And like I'm seeing extreme growth, like, and I love seeing it. It seems like people are understanding, what they're actually dealing with. It seems like as if targets are understanding what they're actually dealing with, as far as the surveillance part, which had me really, really messed up, you know. And that was my whole pretty much. That was pretty much my whole goal. I have plenty of lessons though, as far as alternative, living for for targets and stuff like that. Plenty of them. Like, it's steps to get there. It takes steps to get there, but the first thing you let go when it comes to moving in to staying when it comes to moving in a vehicle, staying in a vehicle or something like that. When it comes to staying in the vehicle or deciding to stay in the shelter, the first thing you must start with is letting go of your ego. That is the first thing you must start with because people, um, I can't. I'm so out of feeling myself, out of my ego that I can't even tell you what people like. I just tried to think like I don't even care what people think about me because It's about action. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what people think. It's about action, not their action. You know what I'm saying? It's about my action. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like their action. Like, no, no, no. Not their action. It's about my action. You know? Like it's about my action. It's about my action. Like my action. Like how was I finna say that? Like, did I do that? Like that scene, that don't nobody like that, but I didn't do that. Don't nobody like that. I didn't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna continue doing this normal stuff that everybody do that I'm supposed to do. That's normal. That's regular for life. So yeah, I ain't do that. You could say that. That wasn't done. So I'm gonna keep doing what's regular. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, and it's not gonna affect me because I'm going to, you know what I'm talking. Hell yeah. In my mind, I'm hell. I'm yes. Like, bro, to the foulest stuff, like stuff that I would never do. As far as like, especially when they be trying to mess with you, as far as your mentally, mess with you as far as your sexuality, like in a conversation or some pause. You know what I'm saying? Like anything, like they try to make you think this, or somebody think this about you, or something like that. I'm yep in my mind. Hell yeah. Like, how you know that? You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not going to affect my body. Like it's not going to affect my physical. It's not going to cause that type of thinking is not going to cause me thinking is not going to cause me extreme rate of heart, extreme heart rate. It's not going to cause me to feel as if I just stepped onto a stage full of church. If I just stepped onto a stage full of church, if I just stepped on the church stage with 1,000,000 people, it's not gonna make me feel like that. Versus how all the other tactics make you feel. Like when they used to bring like my first problem, like I thought they was like saying that I was like a like a weirdo, and like so they want when they would bring like kids around me, I would be like, after somebody said it like indirectly, after somebody said it indirectly, I would be like, I got like extremely weird, like in every situation, almost every time. Like, and it's so bad, like it's so bad, like that's so bad. After somebody said it, like indirectly, like it was somebody I didn't even know. Like this dude was like, he was like, man, don't have nobody around my. Just he was a lame though. He was like a lame, like a dude I could have like, scuffed up, threw around. Like he was like, man, don't have nobody around my, little ones. Don't have no weird. He was just saying it. He was just saying it. Like he was in the group. He was just saying it. After that, I got weird and I didn't understand. Like I got weird when it came to that. Like that same day, I had picked up my niece and held her and everything that same day. Well, not my real niece, but I picked her up that same day. Like I picked her up and held her like that same day. Like some hours later, them motherfuckers don't have no, like he was like, don't have no, like somebody had gave it to me first off. Like somebody had like put her in my hands and like let me hold her. And I had put her down, and then like some hours later, like dude was like, you know, man, don't be having no. I'm like, bro, you lame. Like, and I wasn't even thinking that at that time. But from then on, I thought everybody that saw me, I thought everybody that knew me thought that I was, a PDF. You feel what I'm saying? From that moment on, like from that moment on. So, but you have to understand that who those people are. You feel what I'm saying? Those people there. I would say the correct term would be plant a seed. You know what I'm saying? And if you didn't understand what was going on, if you didn't understand what was going on, like they sent there to plant a seed. They was just sent there to plant a seed. And if you didn't understand who they working for, I was messed up with that. If you didn't understand who they was working for, then you um If you didn't understand who they was working for, then you would be mentally messed up about it. You would think that some type of cult, some type of cool cult with all the nice clothes and the jewelry and the music and the this and that, you would think some type of cool cult calling you a PDF file. You run around thinking some cool cult calling you a PDF file, and the cops is like blame just like you. That's what you thinking. That's what you thinking. For real. That's what you running around thinking. Like, oh, these people are so cool. These people are so cool. They part of this group. This before you realize what's going on. They part of this group. They're so cool. They this or that, and they in some type of secret organization. And the cops don't even touch them. That's what you thinking. You feel what I'm saying? When all along they're all with the cops, like they're all together. Like so that's what you thinking. So but yeah, like you have to understand that type of stuff. Um, and that's just what that is. Because if you don't understand it, then you're going to fall victim to the scientific, psychological methods that were it was designed for. Understand this you can't happen. This can't happen to you. You a citizen. This can't happen to you. I don't mean to be spiritual. I don't mean to bring up no what's the name, but you ain't signed over to the suited man. You ain't signed over to the suited man, bro. The man in the suit, you ain't signed to that man in the suit. You ain't signed to be a public figure. That's what I mean. You ain't signed to a man. This can't happen to you. Targeting can't happen to us. We citizens. It's happening. It's happening, but the public is not connecting. The public's not connected. It's happening. You're being targeted, yeah. But the public's connected in a way of just receiving notifications. That level of connection. So that means you're not really known at all. You get what I'm saying? This would change me over. Like it messed me up. It's like you're not really known at all. Oh, I get it now. You feel what I'm saying? Like you're not really known at all. Like we're getting harassed and this can't happen to you. That's a blessing. It's a blessing. That's the only topic I'm really getting on right now when I'm talking about this subject. It's a blessing. It can't happen to you. Targeting can't happen to you. You can't be all over the blogs. It can't happen to you. That's a blessing. You can't walk into a store and get bombarded with pictures. People trying to take pictures of you blatantly. Hey, let me take a picture with you. Blatantly, or of you blatantly, to put it on the internet, everyone to see blatantly. You feel what I'm saying? Blatantly. So I'm not saying it is, I could say a different word for blessing because, some people don't think I'm talking, it's a great, feel good. You just realize that you have something not to chase. Being known. That is completely bad to you now, no matter what. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it should taught. That's what it should teach you. It should teach you that. It should teach you that. You think trying to be known good so you can't walk in a place. Then somebody trying to do something to you because you known. You gotta have, bro, they must have, you don't realize, right? Think about being a known person. They have to have security. That's the only thing people don't really think of, and people chasing that, and they don't realize, that's why they go back and be like, I wish I was never famous. People chasing that and they don't realize, bro, you have to have security. That's a whole different life. That's not good. You feel what I'm saying? That's just some wisdom. Something completely not to chase. I just gave you some wisdom. That's something to completely not to chase because it's bad. Unless you want to be with security and can't go into a grocery store by yourself, you know, stuff like that. A bunch of and more stuff. Buy you can't no excitement getting things. That pair of shoes right there instead of you just waiting for them. Instead of you just waiting the 2 weeks to get them there, it's right there. Instead of saying I'm gonna get this pair of Jordans the next 2 months, you can get 10 pair of Jordans that pair of Jordans um that same day. That's depressing. That's depressing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, you gotta reverse it. That's why they say there's a pro and con to everything. Imagine being able to have everything you need. You know who in the best position right now? Middle class. Scientifically, too. If something is penetrated, you can't hit what's in the middle. You feel what I'm saying? You'll hit the bread before you hit the meat. The middle class the best. That's just like something I'm thinking of. Middle class the best, but you'll hit the bread before you hit the meat. That's why middle class the best. I just thought of some crazy. That was just some crazy. There was a crazy analogy I just thought of. That's mine though. I'm not gonna repeat that. That's really. It's not that good of an analogy. But middle class is the best. You don't want to be rich. 6 figures, cool. You feel what I'm saying? That's middle class for real. That's middle class. And you can't. You still got to go to work. You can't sit and just spend all that. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can take a breaks. You can take breaks occasionally. You feel what I'm saying? But there is no work is tiring. But until you can't, there's no reason to never not be active, productive. I don't care if you don't work. If you don't work at all, you need to be playing basketball or something. There's no reason to be sitting if you unless you can't. You don't need to be watching TV all day. That's something to do. Like yeah, that's something to do. You might could do that all day for 1 day, 2 days. You might could do it for a whole week. You might could do that for a whole week. But you don't do that all the time. You have to stop. Like you have to and get into a hustle. If not a hustle, you have to get into um playing basketball or something. A hobby. Sitting watching any content all day when you have a choice to do otherwise or you need to do otherwise. You can't pay your bills, you can't pay your rent for 3 months and you want to sit down. That's not you gonna look because in the future you're gonna be like, dang, I should have been working like while I was like sitting there. I couldn't pay my rent for 3 months. I paid my rent for 3 months. But I should have started working. Now I'm finna do the same thing over again. I should start working with the whoop. You know? But yeah, you just have to understand these type of things. I'm gonna keep this live stream an hour long. I love all y'all, you know, and you just gotta stay up out of this stuff. Not up out of it. Just gotta understand what's going on. Understand who you're dealing with. Understand this stuff is not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that deep. It's not. So that's just what that is, and understanding, identifying your audience is real important. It's like going into a room with you supposed to be planning something, but you go into a room of enemies. You want to identify your audience. You go into a room of enemies with a shirt over your face or something, and say you're playing. You want to identify your audience. That's important. Your audience can dress up to some if they as some as they not. You know, and your audience is the police sagging. You feel what I'm saying? Your audience is the police sagging. Your audience is the police with sagging pants. You know what I'm saying? Not literally. No, you get what I'm saying? Not literally. Not, and I'm not making an analogy of people like, oh yeah, it's gangsters surveilling you in your house. No, bro, they committing crimes. They not surveilling anything. You feel what I'm saying? People are committing crimes. Ain't no one surveilling anything. Ain't nobody listening to anything. But you know, three-letter agency. You feel me? That's their job. It's their job. So, uh, yeah, I'm just trying to get up off of here. Get up off of here, and yeah, I love all y'all. I'll be live probably soon again. But peace out.